Goma and konnichiwa. Plus. It's not right. Give a sale. Well, here it's the POLIT'AI CHI doing a brief intro so you know what you're in for. Video highlights coming up. A little esplanade, if not a montage, or vice versa, montage, if not an esplanade. Talking briefly and concisely about, boy, was that ever awkward or embarrassing to watch in real time, eh? And we're doing a post-analysis here. Now, I like Tucker. He's not everybody's cup of tea. However, I submit to y'all, he's definitely kind of one of the more reasonable centrist voices there. No right of center, but the reasonable person standard in common law, as it's not ever really defined statutorily speaking, in statutory. You can't stipulate the reasonable person standard vis-a-vis, state law, certain code, whatever the number. But yeah, he's great. A little more grounded than Hannity. Sorry, I mean, I like taking excerpts from Hannity sometimes. But he tends to get carried away. He's so pro-Trump, he can't see some of the underlying reasons as to how he creates some of these problems for himself. Yes, plain spoken is great and all, but is he coarse at times? Yes. Abrasive? Absolutely. And that's the burden of being a centrist. You gotta call balls and strikes both sides of the aisle. That's why we're definitely, when I say we, if there was a centrist party, are in the minority. Because you have to be willing to apply the same standard to both sides, which is something, oh yeah, you think the Dems or the GOP do that in a centrist kind of way, in a reasonable person standard kind of way? So to continue, this guy's been sort of a regular, forgetting his name right now, I'll leave that for you to find out. Otherwise it would be sort of like a really super teeny tiny boring political spoiler alert. Former advisor with an O people. Who was typing these in there at Fox News? I had to put together something for Stu Varney in particular. Unless you were watching it, it wouldn't do, Joe Q YouTube audience any good. But the talking points in it, perfectly valid. Advisors, plural, sure. You do it that way. It's like gray versus gray, A or E. Okay. Going on the etymology of words. But he's been pretty annoying at times. And I'll tell you this, being a Clinton advisor, former Clinton advisor, I think they all are former now, right? They didn't work out so well. Maybe if you had a better candidate. But here's my theory, because I used to cover MSNBC willingly, and all of this is done pro bono within the confines as well defined in the DMCA for any would-be, you're doing third-party content. When it comes to news, there's a little bit more largesse allowed for the, whomever you are on YouTube, or Facebook, I don't do Facebook. Anyway, I digress. The more former Dems spend time at Fox News, with reasonable types, I suppose Hannity would not necessarily bring out the best in him, but Tucker does. He's Gen X, my age group. The more reasonable they seem to become, the more former Republicans spend time at MSNBC, I don't know, Joe Scarborough, the more they become less recognizable, and it's super disappointing. Plus another snippet from Hannity. This will be a longer video. Thanks for watching. Those silly DUIs while you're out there. Roll.
It's easy for her to talk right now, and I understand that, and I fully understand that. We're going to have a good discussion, and we're going to see what happens. But we have to have border security.
Mr. President, please don't characterize the strength that I bring to this meeting as a leader of the House Democrats who just won a big victory.
Elections have consequences, Mr. President.
It was an amazing moment. The president is at his best when he's fighting for the interests of the people who voted for him and for the principles that he ran on. But tweeting is not making policy, and threatening a shutdown is not the same as shutting down the government or as getting a wall built. The president has actually made that threat before. In March, he signed a spending bill with no wall funding, but said he would never sign a bill like that again. And then in July, he tweeted this, quote, "I would be willing to shut down government if the Democrats do not give us the votes for border security, which includes a wall." But a September budget showdown came and went with
All right,
no
I'm gonna
shutdown.
be walking by here. Forgive the shadow,
This
or maybe I should just turn
December
on the stage lighting.
2018 is the president's
And
final
there you
chance
go.
to get a border wall. The wall was central to his campaign in 2016. That will never happen while Democrats control the Chamber of Commerce. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, Richard Goodstein joins us tonight. He's an attorney who advised both Bill and Hillary Clinton, and we're happy to have him. So I'm a little bit, just to get to the theatrics of it, were amazing. We don't know whether Pelosi and Schumer knew there were going to be cameras there, and all of that will become clear in the coming days. But what is clear is that Democrats adamantly oppose a wall, but they're for a fence. So what's the difference?
Well, again, the signature promise was, we're going to build
Goodstein, there it
Mexico
is.
is going to pay for it. We just had a NAFTA deal.
Becoming more good and good as you spend time at
To get
Fox.
Mexico to pay, and he didn't. So can we at least suspend any belief that he's going to make good on that part of the promise? Can we agree on that?
I think the rest of us are interested not just in the rhetoric, but like, we have 22 million people here illegally. That's a disaster. Everyone agrees. But the latest estimate is 22. We have tens of millions of people here illegally. And our borders are not secure. Democrats have said we're for a fence, but we're against a wall, because as Pelosi told us last week, a wall is immoral. Why? What is the difference between a fence and a wall? Why is a fence okay, but a wall is not?
Well, I think the Democrats' view, and again, I'll quote John Kelly in his confirmation hearing when he was up for Homeland Security, a physical barrier in and of itself does not do the job. We don't want to keep playing goal line defense against people trying to come in from another country. So the and again,
But in a subtle way, he is sort of saying, without realizing it, we do have to play defense.
We had those prototypes still sitting in the desert for months and months and months, and he was supposed to pick one, and he hasn't.
But I think
now at least agree that he's.
Well, we can agree with what I've said a million times on the show, which is he promised to build a wall, and we should build one now. And what he's asking for now, and it's late, I agree with you, but he's asking for the money to pay for the wall that he promised, and that people want. People voted for him for that. 64 million people. So.
Well, most people voted against him, but okay.
Okay, but why are Democrats against? I just don't understand what the opposition is. So it's wasteful. Okay, this is a party that supports Head Start after 55 years of failed results. So look, waste is not a real issue. That's a lie. Why do they support a fence but not a wall? And honestly, being a sort of simple person, like, explain it to me.
So again, when there was a bill that passed the Senate back in 2013, with votes from pinkos like Orrin Hatch and Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio for comprehensive immigration reform, it included beefing up border security. It didn't call for a wall because, as Chuck Schumer said, the experts believe that the wall, like Israel has, wouldn't be effective here for a variety of reasons, so we could spend the whole segment talking about it.
Has it been effective in Israel?
Of course it has.
Is it immoral?
No, I think it's been...
But why is it immoral if we do it?
Well, because I think the people coming into Israel there are blowing people up in a way that the immigrants here are helping pick our food.
Can't argue with that.
Oh, I mean, some are picking
But it's more, it didn't used to sound like this 2 months ago, I'm telling you.
Israel built this wall because it wanted to know who was coming over from the territories,
Right.
because it's its country, right? This is our country, so it's not immoral when they do it, but it is immoral when we do it. A fence is okay, but a wall is not okay. I mean, I'm sincerely...
Yeah, I don't think Nancy Pelosi said that the wall is... What's immoral...
She said 3 times the wall is immoral.
What's immoral is spending money on something you know is not going to work. The Democrats passed... That would have passed the House, incidentally, and had 15 Republican votes in the Senate, called for a very protracted period of time before people who were already here would get citizenship, enabling them to vote.
Like, normal people are like, look, we don't have control of our borders. A wall is not the whole answer.
Donald Trump bragged about the fact today with Schumer and Pelosi about all these people being stopped. I mean, he has to get his record straight. Has it worked or has it not worked? He can't even be consistent.
I'm here to defend the country, not a politician.
Yeah.
Illegal immigration is actually spiking right now. There are lots of reasons for that. But the fact remains that it's true, and it's bad for our country. We've never tried a wall. A lot of Republicans are against the wall because they're for illegal immigration, because their donors are for it, because it's cheap labor. I get it. It's not a partisan question. I just want to know what the argument against the wall is. All the things we spend money on, like, why not try the wall? And like, no, that's immoral. Why?
Yeah, well, again, I'm not saying it's immoral. I'm saying it's impractical, and I'm not the expert, nor are you, but the people who are say it's impractical, that there are ways...
Really?
Well, e-verification, getting employers not to hire people who are here illegal, right?
No, but
that would be effective.
But Democrats are opposed to universal e-verify.
That was in the bill that got to be some Democratic vote in the Senate.
There's no universal Democrat support for that.
Well,
because their donors make money from undercutting American wages with foreigners.
Well,
They were, I mean, come on.
Well, it was in the bill that passed with every Democrat vote in the Senate in 2013, and would have passed the House.
So you think Pelosi's for universally verified? We're going to punish employers if they hire illegals. She's for that? No, she's against it, actually.
I don't think that's true. I think Nancy Pelosi has said from the start back then, if you bring up that bill that passed the Senate, we will get...
They're all against it. But, like, can you see the frustration where we fund other countries' border walls and call them virtuous, when Americans are like, we want to protect our own country, shut up, racist, you're immoral.
No,
Do you see the problem?
Yeah, that would be a problem if it was true.
It's totally true.
What's true is that the Democrats want to beef up security along the border. This notion of it being open borders and Democrats want people to come in, that's a myth. I know that plays to the base. It happens just not to be true.
Then how did we get tens of millions of illegals here that the Democrats are protecting and telling us we could never deport? Like, how did that happen? Because they're for illegal immigration.
You know, in one phrase, dysfunctionality of Congress decades ago. Some things that got done good.
There's no community of people. Like, I mean, this is a Hispanic community. There are Hispanic people who voted for Trump, who've got all kinds of different views.
Right.
Just because people are of one ethnicity doesn't mean they all have the same views. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, and that's true on every issue.
Yes, it is.
But all I'm saying is that Obama deported millions of people, so this notion that Democrats are unwilling to deport just happens not to square with the facts.
But we still have all these people here, and I see Nancy Pelosi telling me I'm immoral for wanting to fix it.
Yeah, I think that give her a chance to get a bill passed in the House. We'll see if the Senate takes it up.
Good.
We'll see how bad or badder it is.